Guest of honor, His Excellency Dr. Goodluck Jonathan.
Please be seated. Please be seated. I thank the Kukah Center for inviting me to this program. I am pleased to be part of this celebration of my dear friend and our dear Lordship, Bishop Hassan Kukah, the Catholic Bishop of Sokoto Diocese. On the occasion of this his 70th birthday. Most wouldn't believe that you're up to 70 because you've been quite vibrant. It's a privilege to witness the unfolding in his life of the grace. It's a privilege to witness the unfolding in his life of the grace, of the promise of 70, which is the scriptural minimal. But of course, when the Bible talks about 10, it doesn't say that we should die at 70. So I pray that Father Kukah should add another 10. I joined other Nigerians, his friends, and well-wishers across the world to pray for God to grant him longer life in good health and the strength to carry on with his crusade for a just and functional human society. Some of the people who spoke talks about how Father Kukah bruised them. Father Kukah must bruise all of us. Because when you are living in a dysfunctional society and you are a clergyman, you can't keep quiet. In fact, Father Kukah asked whether he bruised me too. But see, the society we are managing is quite complex. Yes, I was the president, I tried my best, but does not mean that we had no issues. Now we are talking about ASUU strike. During my time too, ASUU had 4 months of strike. Different committees were meeting and nothing was working. And I said, how can our students stay out of school for 4 good months? I had to call a meeting of all the leadership of ASUU. I presided over the meeting with my vice president. The attorney general was there. I said that night we must solve that problem. Attorney general was there. Secretary of Government was there, the ministers of education were there, the labor ministers were there, the finance ministers were, everybody that has to do with. And I thought that my being there will help ASUU to do things quickly. But we spent the whole night. Before we finished, it was like 5:30 a.m. before we concluded, and the strike was called off. So there were issues. It is not surprising that the theme of today's conversation is focusing on what the organizers have aptly identified as Nigeria's unfinished greatness, the next steps. I cannot agree more. Nigeria is indeed a work in progress. And until that work is done, people like Bishop Kukah, who God has positioned as the conscience of the nation, will continue to be around to constantly hold us and show us that there is a mirror reflecting all of us that have been in leadership or in leadership. And Kukah, no apologies to anybody. Do what God has assigned you to do. We have a distinguished panel that will interrogate this topic. And the moderator, Mokwe, if she is around too, I know her capacities. So I was invited as a special guest. I will not say much. I believe the panelists will do justice to the topic. In the course of the last few years since I left government, I have been involved in the work of promoting democracy, credible elections, and peaceful transition across Africa, which is the focus of my foundation, the Goodluck Jonathan Foundation. From what I know and I have seen, I cannot confidently say that the experience and struggle for development they are similar across experiences are similar across Africa. Nigeria may not be where we want it to be now, but we should not give up. We should not lose hope. We should not focus only on the negative. Judging from where we are coming from, if you look at our story from amalgamation, especially from to 1960 when we gained independence, and especially from 1960 to date, at least we have progressed significantly. I know we have issues, but we have progressed. A nation is an organic being that sometimes suffers setbacks along the line. From 1960, the nation, no doubt, has had its own dose of setbacks. This cut across during this military time, during civilian rule, we have been experiencing setbacks. The worst was the 3 years civil war that really set us behind. But in every setback, there are always lessons to be learned and positive takeaways. Even if you take our civil war, as a nation, we're supposed to gain from it after the war, after the death and destruction. Because I remember then that, especially in the eastern region, some of the scientists started developing certain things to help fight the war. Even crude oil, they started crude refineries. They started explosives. Then there was no internet that you go and learn IEDs. I think it was the one they said was the Bunuge, and at the time they were detonating from a distance. So if those technologies were developed along the line, probably the military technology in Nigeria would have been better. Obviously, many people, especially our youth, are becoming increasingly disillusioned about our politics and our democracy. However, we must remain on the democratic path because it is the only practical way of effectively managing our diversity, managing our diversity, developing sustainably, and recording progress as a nation. The task before all of us is not to lower our guards, lest the democracy we cherish today succumbs to threats and recedes into fascism tomorrow. Because there are signs, looking across the states and so on, luckily some governors are here, we are derailing to some quasi-fascist form of government. Democracy is not all about election and winning elections. Democracy is about accommodation. We as leaders, especially now that elections are coming, leaders at the center, leaders at the state level, must accommodate different views. Politics is all about accommodation and inclusion. So the people will discuss, I believe that they will interrogate these topics very well. We must have a country that we all believe in. If you look at the statement made by leaders, especially at independence, because we had 3 major regions and later the Midwestern region, people were thinking more about their regions. So even now, people don't believe that Nigeria is their nation. In fact, people will tell you clearly that Nigeria is not a nation. Yes, we know that in terms of technical definition, but it is not only Nigeria that we have different nationalities coming together to form a country. Almost all the countries in Africa, I can say all. There's no country in Africa that you go, there's only one nationality that you would see maybe in the Arab world, in Southern America, and so on. But others have been able to come together and have a country that all of them believe in. So what is holding Nigeria back? And until we believe that we have a country, that no matter what you are, no matter how you worship, we have equal rights, then we have nowhere to go. When I was in office, there's some challenges, information that got to me, and I got worried. Some parts of southern Nigeria, if a Muslim dies, to get a land to bury used to be a problem. Some parts of the north, if a Christian group want to build a church, you cannot get land from the government. Some other person has to go and get land as a personal land before that person can donate to the church to build. And I set up a committee made up of governors that, look, we must move away from this division to not lead the country anywhere. Unfortunately, that came towards the tail end of the government and we couldn't go too far. But these are the things that worry us. A Nigerian must be proud of being a Nigerian, no matter how you worship your God. Look at just West Africa. Go to all the countries in West Africa. There's no country that you don't have Muslims and Christians. Why is that? Why is that of Nigeria is different in different proportions? Nigeria in Africa, yes, countries have different problems. But in terms of religious, the crisis that religion is bringing to us, Nigeria's case is the worst in Africa. And we must cure that. The young people must cure that. And we must all consider Nigeria as our nation. Towards this goal, we are again faced with a good opportunity of choosing our leaders as the elections are coming up now. In fact, as we talk about elections, I now remember that I did not recognize Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, the APC presidential candidate, and my good friend Kashim, Senator Kashim, the running mate. Sorry, because I put here in my decision, but I was rushing, so I skipped some of the protocol. The elections are coming. It's an opportunity for Nigerians to select people they believe can build this country. I decide to be fairly neutral in terms of the politics. As a former president, I should be a bit reserved. I'm quite impressed that the recent statistics the INEC published, that from the last registration, about 71% were young people. The only problem is that the young people decided to register at the rush hours. They didn't register before. Otherwise, of course, the young population, in terms of demography, the youth are always more than the rest of us. So I believe that this country is in your hands. Most of us are looking backward. So you must select who you believe in at the local government level, at the state level, and at the national level. You should not be used for destructive purposes, going to snatch ballot boxes and destroying election materials. You must have this country and push your country. Today's program, as we have been told, is a twin event. We are also launching a fund for the Kukah School of Government. I congratulate the Kukah Center for the initiative of establishing the school, going by its antecedents and successes in the pursuit of his own mandate. I believe that the center has the capacity to deliver on this new project. Bishop Kukah comes from a long tradition of productively engaging the Nigerian state, while always deploying the experience of his considerable exposure, his own international reach, academic prowess, and sense of justice. Bishop Kukah is clearly one person whose name can give the school that is to be established the credibility it requires. When God blesses you, like Papa Noshu emphasized that Bishop Kukah, first and foremost, is a priest. I agree. And when God blesses you with great intellect, like Kukah, as he has done in the different cases, the Almighty God will also give you other assignments to do. So Bishop Kukah will know it's not only winning souls for the Lord, but it's the conscience of society. And that is the role that it has played, and played very well. And it should continue to play that role. I believe that the Kukah School of Government is coming as a culmination of all other of Bishop Kukah's activities. And I believe that this school will help to come up with ideas. Intellectuals will come up, discuss key issues, and these issues will translate and cascade down. When intellectual issues are being discussed and are not presented as a form of partisan politics, people in government will listen. But when it is very confrontational to a government is made up of human beings. So when presentation becomes a bit confrontational, that's why you see people in government resisting, and somebody will want to come and counter that statement. So the School of Government is an institution, so it will not behave like an individual. So they will be able to interrogate topics. Sometimes people talk about the national issues. What is the national issue? These are things that such schools can take up at the academic level, analyze it, and properly present it to people who want to contest election. As you are going in, this is what Nigerians want from you. I believe Kukah has done very well, and that for you to gather all these people here at this time shows how people appreciate you. So, on behalf of the Goodluck Jonathan Foundation, we wish you success, and we say happy birthday. Thank you all.